Gaming PCs are finally getting affordable again. If you've been wanting to build a gaming PC for a while and you've been saving up, now is a very good time to do so. So hey guys, I'm YS from ystech.org and today I'm going to be doing a gaming PC build for New Zealand. So let's go ahead and check the build out. One of the major appeals right now and why the prices are coming down as a whole is because graphics card prices are starting to drop in New Zealand. Now as you can see here, this card used to be $1,499, it dropped down to $1,349 and is now $999, a significant drop for such a powerful card. There's also a general trend that CPUs are starting to fall in price, and they have been doing so in the past little while. So we'll have two build parts for this build for April. So one of them is going to be an Intel build and the second one is going to be an AMD build. They do vary in price and performance, so it's important to understand what you're getting for your money. So the first build totals up $1,587 at the time of recording for the Intel build with the Intel motherboard. The rest of the parts are going to be the same. For the AMD build is going to be $1,709 and it comes with an AMD processor and an AMD motherboard. So there are differences in the CPU, I'm just going to start off with that. And as you can see here, I've given a link in the description to a really good channel called Gamers Nexus. Now he does a lot of reviews and everything like that, definitely a lot more professional than what I could ever be. His videos are very helpful. So this one is the i5 11400, not the 11400F as we have it in the build, or the 10400F. But in any case, he's gonna give you a good idea on benchmarks and how the CPUs are going to perform. I would highly recommend checking out his videos to give any reference to performance. So keeping that in mind, let's head off with the Intel build pathway. So first off, I've gone with the i5 10400F and it comes in at $227 from First Wave or $229 from Extreme PC. Now this is a pretty decent processor in New Zealand. You can grab the processor at a great price of $200 sometimes. I saw it just 2 weeks ago go on sale for that, so not a bad price at all. But I definitely say any price usually below $230 is not too bad for this processor in New Zealand. Again, it's a 6-core processor, and with gaming and AAA titles, you'll be perfectly fine. However, when it comes to the applications for workstations such as making videos on Premiere Pro or drawing up stuff in CAD, usually the AMD processors are just a little bit better suited for it. But in any case, this is a good processor for strictly gaming. Now the next one up from that, we have the i5 11400F, and you can get these at a great deal, $241 from Extreme PC. Any price usually below $250 or even $260 is usually a decent price for the 11400F. It's not too badly priced considering that it does do better than its 10400F counterpart, but at the same time there are different other options that you can go for at the moment. This is strictly for gaming as well. Now for the Intel motherboard, I've gone with the ASRock B560M HDV motherboard. It's $159 from PBTech. It's a budget motherboard and it's not too bad for its price. It is on the lower end and you're generally not going to be trying to overclock or anything in any case with the Intel CPUs, so you should be perfectly fine for strictly gaming, and with an i5 processor you should be able to get away with no VRM heatsinks on here in any case. It comes with 2 DIMM slots here and I believe 4 SATA as well, so not too bad. Overall not too shabby as well with the M.2 slot. Now lastly for Intel, I've gone with the i5 12400F. It's a really new processor, it's 12th gen from Intel and it came out this year in Q1, so not too long ago. It's a 6-core processor, it's the i5 12400F, and it costs anywhere from $287 right up to $290 from Extreme PC, PC Force, PBTech or Computer Lounge. It's a great processor for its price and it does hold up very nicely compared to the AMD one, and in terms of price to performance, considering that the AMD one does cost more. Now it would be good to check out benchmarks between the two for your specific applications and for the games you're going to play, but at the same time, it's a great processor for its price. It's quite a big step up from the other two Intel processors from before. So with this one, I've decided to go with the B660M-A motherboard. So it's a MSI Pro one, and it's about $249 from Computer Lounge. It's pretty expensive, but it's one of the ones that I saw would actually be better with a i5 processor. It does have a VRM heatsink, which is great, and it has two M.2 slots. It comes with 4 DIMM slots over here for your RAM and 4 SATA slots as well. Overall, you should be pretty good with the CPU being in this motherboard. It is definitely one of the better ones, and it does come with a cost price as well. So that about sums it up for the Intel build now. Let's go ahead and check what AMD has on offering. From AMD, we've got the Ryzen 5 5600, which is recently released and doesn't have the X on the end on it. It's a 6-core processor, and it comes in at 3.6 GHz, and it comes in at $319 from Computer Lounge, Extreme PC, PB Tech, and PC Force. A very good processor for the money, just comparing AMD to AMD, considering that the Ryzen 5 3600 is currently at $299, so $20 cheaper, but at the same time, this is a big performance uplift over the 3600. It's a very fast processor, although compared to the 5600X, it's not actually that different, so that's the reason I'm recommending it here is for $319. I think it's a great processor for its price overall. In terms of gaming benchmarks, from what I've seen, it's very good, and it's also good in multi-threaded applications like for CAD, for Premiere Pro, or anything like that. It should do quite a bit better than the Intel ones. Again, both options are perfectly fine, the Intel 12400F or the 5600, but personally, my personal preference would just be the 5600 here, although it costs a little bit more. For the motherboard, for the AMD board, we've gone with the B550M Bazooka ATX motherboard, and it's got a VRM heatsink, and it's got 4 DIMM slots, it's got 2 slots, and it's got 4 SATA as well. Mind you, it's also PCI 4.0, and I believe the B661 from Intel one is also as well. This comes in $189 from Extreme PC, and it's definitely a good motherboard for B551 on the mid-range, so you could possibly overclock on this board, and the 5600 should be perfectly fine in this build as well. Overall, great motherboard, great price, a little bit cheaper than the Intel one, but it's up to you to do the cost pricing. In any case, the cheapest options for the CPU and motherboard combo will always be the i5 10400F or 11400F, and going with the ASRock B560. So keeping that in mind, let's head over to the RAM. So the RAM we've gone with the Corsair Vengeance LPX 16 gigs, 2 sticks of 8 gigs, DDR4 3200, CL16, $117 from First Wave Extreme PC, $129 from Computer Lounge or PB Tech. So definitely a great kit of RAM. You can see these usually go down to even $110 or below sometimes. There's also the Kingston one that goes down to below $120, sometimes $110. Very good pricing for these RAM kits. Now, they're not the top end, and sometimes this will compromise performance in some instances, so it's good to understand what type of compromises you're taking here. So I do try to cater this more towards the mid-end range, so usually we can't go for the best of the best on every single thing. So RAM is one that I slightly compromise sometimes, but I do understand it will have a performance impact, but just keeping the price down overall. You know, I know most people are not going to want to overclock, they're not going to want to play the latest AAA titles all the time at 1440p. A lot of people are looking at for 1080p, especially in New Zealand, considering that, you know, inflation's up and money's kind of tight, so I do get that. A great way to understand, again, this video kind of focusing around understanding performance, I hope so at least, is from J2 Cents. He makes a great video on, does RAM speed really matter? And you know, it does in some instances for sure. You will see a performance uplift when you go from a low kit of RAM to such a higher speed RAM, or maybe the cache latency is a bit lower. Sometimes you'll find that you'll be gaining a few FPS in game and real-time games, but not all the time. So it really depends. I'd highly recommend checking out this video. It'll be linked in the description. So a higher kit of RAM would be a G-Skill Trident Z and DDR4 3200 CL16, very similar to the kit that I have. $194 from PB Tech, very expensive, but again, if you can get one of these kits with, for example, the Samsung B die for which is the silicon that they use for the actual chips on the RAM for the AMD CPU, you'll be a lot better off, just considering that you can overclock and can tune the RAM even better, if that makes sense. It's a bit of a tune-up, or quite a bit of a tune-up, just due to the way that AMD processors work. So I hope that was a quick crash course. I hope that helped out a little bit, but let's go ahead and head over to the storage. So I've gone with the Samsung 970 EVO Plus 500 gig M.2, $118 from First Wave, $125 from Extreme PC, $125 from PB Tech, $129 from Computer Lounge. A very good SSD, definitely one of the better M.2 ones that you can buy at the moment. And there are different options for this. So if you guys don't want to spend so much but still want M.2 and Samsung Drive, the Samsung 980 500 gig will also be a very good option. It comes in at usually under $100 from anywhere like Extreme PC or First Wave, or $102 from PB Tech, or $114.95 from Computer Lounge. So you know, that's another option if you guys want a cheaper drive. There's definitely nothing wrong with getting this one over the 970 EVO, but personally, I just like that the 970 EVO is a really high-end SSD and it will last you a long time. And also considering that, you know, this SSD is usually one of the things you're going to be keeping around for a very long time in any case. So you might be wondering, where's the hard drive? Hard drive, not too hard of a pick. Western Digital Caviar Blue, 1 terabyte, $67 from Computer Lounge, $68 from PB Tech. Again, you could go secondhand and get something that you would only put games on, not your personal files. But this should be perfectly fine to keep your personal files on for less than 2 to 3 years. Usually, these do have like a little bit of a bad failure rate sometimes. There's also the Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte. They can also come down to this price. At the time of recording, the Western Digital one was cheaper than the Seagate one at the time of recording. So it's the one that I went with. I'm just assuming you're going to put games on there in any case. So it's an option, but I haven't included it in the budget of the original builds here. So it is an additional cost. That's up to you, because these guys are 500 gigs, so you can put a few games on them, maybe 1 or 2 AAA titles, but a few esports titles will definitely fall on there. Okay, so we're finally on to the moment of truth, the graphics card. I've gone with the XFX Radeon RX 6600 XT. It currently comes in at $699 from Computer Lounge, and I think that's actually a really good deal. This card is very, very fast, and it performs very well in games. It does have the PCIe 4.0 limitation, although it's yet to be seen the performance dip in 3.0 titles, or motherboards actually. But in any case, both the motherboards are PCIe 4.0 compatible. In any case, I'm getting sidetracked. It's a great card. You're going to be able to play a lot of AAA titles at high 1080p easily and medium 1440p. You're going to be playing your esports titles really nicely. And like the price to performance here is actually great for $700. I'd say that's very good. It's very close to what it released at. I believe it released at the same price, if not a little bit more expensive. So from memory, because these cards were not that bad when they came out, considering what was going on at the time. So how I look at it right now is on the bottom, for mid-range, we're going to say the 6600. Next for performance uplift from that will be the RTX 3060. And the next one up from that is the 6600 XT, which is very good. Then the last one we have is the RTX 3060 Ti. The 3060 Ti's are also at very, very good prices at the moment. So if you guys want a faster card that will probably last a little bit longer in terms of performance, the RTX 3060 Ti is also an amazing offering at the moment. And the RTX 3070 that I showed you guys at the start of this video, $999 if you guys can afford it. A very good card. I have it myself. Obviously I didn't pay that, I paid this. Kind of sad, but whatever. It's a great card as well, $999. So if you guys think about it, right now is pretty good for building a PC, especially mid-range, and it's actually coming down to similar pricing and performance uplift compared to a few years ago. It's great to see that. So also, if you can't afford anything above $500, as I always say, go secondhand if you can. Make sure you get something good, clean the graphics card up, and get it going. It should be fine. I have seen the RTX 2060s, brand new, considering brand new, under $500 again. So I would take a look at that. But just do keep in mind, for $100 more, at $600 exactly, $599, you'll see the RX 6600s, which are generally better than the RTX 2060s. You do lose the NVMe encoding if you're going to do any streaming or anything like that. But do keep that in mind. The RTX 2060s are below 500, and the RX 6600s are about $599 at the moment. So also great pricing, but I think this one's probably the best bang for buck out of the bunch at the moment. So yeah, that's about it for graphics cards. Let's head over to the case. So I've gone with the Corsair 4000D. I personally have the 5000D. I just built in it the other day, actually a week ago now. It's amazing for airflow. I haven't actually put some case fans in this build for extra. I do know it comes with 2 case fans, so you should be okay. If you put one for exhaust and one for intake, if you guys want to purchase some later, you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, the fans that come with it are actually pretty decent. They're not too bad. I wasn't unhappy with them at all in any case. I still have them in the build. I have them below my graphics card. It's a bit silly, but overall, yeah. $118 from Computer Lunch. The 4000D, in terms of build quality, is very good. Again, it's completely made out of metal. It's really heavy. It has a lot of space at the back to actually build. And you're going to be able to cable manage pretty easily. I had difficulty with mine personally. That's only because I have 11 fans in it, I believe, at the moment. So a little bit difficult to cable manage. But if you guys are not like normal, if you guys are normal and not going to be putting in that many fans, you'll be fine. I like the build. It was just a bit of a pain in the butt to put the cable management in. That's just because of the amount of things that were in it. But overall, it's a great case. I can't doubt that at all. It's a little bit dark on the tinted panel here, so a bit of a toss-up to recommend it to you guys or not. You probably need some lights in there to actually see anything. If you've got a completely black build, you probably won't see anything inside anyways. So that about sums it up for the case, and let's head over to power supply. I've gone with the RMX 550 watt. You should be able to get away with a 550 watt on the 6600 XT, even with a Ryzen 5 5600. The TDPs should just be okay for this. So 550 watt I know is kind of pushing it, but it is an RMX 550. There is also an option for the 600 or 650 watt ones from Be Quiet, and they're about $169 when they're in stock. This one comes at $155 from Extreme PC, but I do have to say it's a very, very high quality power supply. I personally have the 750X, and yeah, I haven't had any problems with it. I really like it. So yeah, I mean, that about sums it up for the builds. I hope you guys have learned something today. I've tried to put more detailed explanations besides just rushing through everything, and you know, I'm just gonna try and focus on that from now on, trying to give you guys more knowledge, hopefully. Give the video a thumbs up if you guys think I did that. But for the builds, for the Intel one, 1587 all up, and for the AMD one, 1700. So not too bad. Now the price will fluctuate depending on what you go with, what performance like levels you go with, what build configurations, you know, like everything's interchangeable here. This is just my recommendations. This is something I would personally build if I had the money to. Yeah, I don't know. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Make sure you go check out ystech.org for the latest post reviews and much more. I'll see you guys there at ystech.org. But other than that, I hope you guys have an awesome day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.